Coaching is often associated with transfer of knowledge and skills. A D1 or a D2 will frequently require this type of conversation. The most appropriate conversation flow is PESOS. P-E-S-O-S. We will wear our instructor hat when delivering PESOS. I discovered PESOS back in the 1990s when I was studying sales coaching. It just meant 5 words: prepare, explain, show, observe, and support. I fleshed it out into specific steps to provide guidance to leaders who are working with coaches to upgrade skill sets, whether it be technical, human relations, thinking skills, or self-management competencies. The first step, prepare, sounds so basic. In reality, I have observed some leaders come to coaching sessions unprepared. The result? Disorganized, directionless, extended, frustrating discussions. What does the coach have to prepare? 4 things come to mind: right content, right place, right time, and right state of mind. Right content refers to all the relevant information you need to share about the skill that the coachee has to learn. It starts with identifying the skill that needs to be taught, the right scope, and breaking it down into manageable, chewable parts given the duration of sessions. It's like creating your coaching outline, what you will cover from session 1 up to, let's say, session 4. Prepare everything else that you need: reference materials, visual aids, and props to deliver that content. Right place is very applicable for face-to-face, in-person meetings. We choose a space or a room which offers enough privacy. Some coaching sessions can be intense. Emotions can be expressed anytime. In a virtual online setup, considering right place means being sensitive if there's anybody else in the coachee's immediate environment. The employee's parent, spouse, or child may be nearby, either within hearing distance or becomes a source of discomfort to the employee, especially during difficult conversations. Right time means proper scheduling of sessions. When is the best time to do coaching? Check if there are deadlines of work output that are dependent on coaching. Best for coaching to happen immediately after a critical incident so it can be converted into a source of learning. Also, consider time slots conducive for both parties. Right state of mind ensures that both coach and coachee are logical and rational enough to discuss issues and focus on the learning. If one or both parties are emotional, especially if there's a work-related problem which involves the coachee, those emotions can be expressed in uglier ways during the conversation. To recap, prepare right content, right place, right time, and right state of mind. The second step, explain, is about the knowledge transfer. This is where we communicate theories and concepts, definition of terms, process flows, work instructions, and recommended practices. There are 2 objectives here: for the coachee to remember and to understand what was shared. Subject matter experts, trainers, or instructors who excel in explaining follow a logical sequence in sharing information. Start with prerequisite information and move on to the next. Start by explaining the big why, the rationale or background to provide big picture view. Then move on to the what, concepts, terms, framework. Then to the how, the process steps, and other details. Check for understanding by asking if the coachee has questions, or by asking the coachee to repeat or recap or explain the information in his own words. A lot of leaders transfer knowledge and skills by explaining and lecturing, and they also just stop there. However, skills transfer require more than just verbally communicating information. Most people are visual and kinesthetic learners, which now require the other steps in PESOS. The third step, show, is the breakthrough step. Through the coach's demonstration of the skill, how it's done, how to operate needed gadgets or equipment, how to deliver a talking point, how to perform data analysis, and how to respond in a specific situation, the coachee vividly sees the best practice in action. The multi-sensory experience of observing how things are done makes learning more permanent. Indeed, actions speak louder than words. This step of show is social learning, learning by observing a role model. The fourth step, observe, is learning through experience. You give the coachee a chance to perform what he observed, to show how much he's understood and how much he can apply. You can select a non-threatening practice environment for the employee to practice the skill, or you can expose him to a real-life situation, of course with calculated risk, to see how well he does outside of an artificial situation. These practice opportunities are ideally followed by debriefing sessions. Some coachees are fast learners. If they display minimum level of proficiency, proceed to the fifth step, support. Some coachees have longer learning curves. In this case, the coach may repeatedly go back to explain, show, and observe as needed. You can zero in on where the coachee is struggling, show how it should be done, and provide more chances for practice. We've all heard of practice makes perfect. Do you agree? I disagree. It has to be regular practice. Doing things repeatedly makes it part of the muscle memory, whether it's performing a process, communicating to people, making decisions, or handling stressful situations. However, practicing the wrong thing is also dangerous. It will ingrain wrong habits. It must be regular, perfect practice makes perfect. When the coachee shows expected level of mastery, support. That's the last S in PESOS. Support by recognizing, support by reminding. That's PESOS, an end-to-end comprehensive process of transferring skills. It is possible for one coach to do all 5 steps. It is also possible for 1 or 2 or 3 coaches or subject matter experts to collaborate on coaching an employee, as long as they are aligned and calibrated on the skill and the standards. For your reference, your manual includes a PESOS coaching template. All the best in transferring your skills to your coachee and potential successor. Our reflection point in this video. Recall a skills transfer session you had with the direct report. Given what you know now about PESOS coaching, what would you do differently in that coaching?